This is an Elsa-inspired hair and makeup tutorial. It is super easy, beginner-friendly, and appropriate for school or work. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is apply a medium to full coverage foundation to achieve Elsa's flawless skin. Here I am using the Maybelline Fit Me Shine Free Stick Foundation. I'm applying it all over my face in streaks, and then I am going to blend it into my skin with my fingers. Next we're going to conceal dark under eyes. I'm using L'Oreal's True Match Concealer. This is an important step you don't want to skip either. So you just dot it under your eyes, and you want to make sure that you use a patting, not a dragging motion, when you blend it into your skin and the rest of your makeup. Now we're going to seal all of that in with Clinique's Blended Face Powder. Use any powder you like. This is just what I had on hand, and you want to use a slight buffing motion. Now we are going to apply Maybelline's Dream Bouncy Blush in Plum Wine. I do definitely suggest this color in specific for this look because it will tie in so well with the eyeshadow, and it matches Elsa's cheek color almost exactly. As you can see, I'm going a little bit heavy with it, and that's just because it takes quite a few strokes to show up. Now we're going to prime the eyes with Revlon Eye Primer and Brightener. Foundation is not going to work for this step. You do need a good eye primer because of the colors we are going to be applying to our lids. We are going to be applying L'Oreal's Infallible eyeshadow in Glistening Garnet, and we are going to be using a regular flat eyeshadow brush. You want to put this color onto your eye until it is fairly opaque. It doesn't need to look cakey, just enough for the color to really show up. And as you can see, I'm not really using a brushing motion, I'm using more of a patting motion. This deposits the pigment more evenly onto your eyelid. I find that this eyeshadow matches her eyeshadow color almost perfectly, and I love using pinks. Now I'm going to use a little bit to put on the bottom lash line of the outer corner of my eye. This isn't necessary, I just thought it would look good. Now we're going to use Revlon's Diamond Lust in Starry Pink, and I'm going to be using my e.l.f. contour brush. And as you could see, I don't really have much of this left, but I'm still using it anyways because I really love it. We are applying it in the crease with the contour brush and along the outside of the bottom lash line. This doesn't show up particularly well for the camera, but it does really look good face to face, and you really need it because it softens the edge of the darker eyeshadow and blends it upward. Now we are going to fill in the eyebrows with my e.l.f. Beautiful Browns palette. As you can see, I'm mixing two colors, the second lightest shade and the darkest shade. This creates more of an ash brown, which matches Elsa's eyebrows way closer than what my natural color is. Her eyebrows are naturally lighter than her hair, and mine are not. Mine are pretty black. So this is going to lighten them a little bit and make them look more of an ashy brown than the typical dark brown that I fill mine in with. Make sure you fill them in angled and that you take your time. You don't want to mess up the shape of the brow. Elsa's brows are angled and pretty sassy. Now we are going to curl our lashes and apply some mascara. I'm using L'Oreal's False Fiber Lashes Mascara. I like this mascara a lot because it does, as it says, contain false fibers, which add length and volume to your eyelashes. You want to apply it to top and bottom lashes to give a wide-eyed doll look. And when you curl, you do want to rotate backwards into your eye socket. It seems painful, but it's not. It gives you the most upward lift possible. we're going to finish off the makeup with the lips. We're going to be using Burt's Bees lip gloss in Ruby Moon. You want to pay extra attention to your lip line when you are applying this because it is such a dark color. You don't want to have a janky, wavy, just totally horrible lip line. Elsa has really pretty full lips, and mine sadly are not as big as hers, but the color still looks great and matches hers nearly perfectly. Now we are going to do the hair for this look. So I'm going to take it all down, and first thing I'm going to section out pieces of my fringe, or what used to be my bangs. Yeah, they're really long now, and I really want to get them cut and layered, but that's besides the point. These are going to be what you are going to use to curl and shove over the top of your head to be Elsa's volumized, sort of fringy, feathery part of her braid. So, keeping these aside, you want to be brushing out all the rest of your hair. Tangles are not good for trying to make a French braid. It makes things much more difficult, and getting sections out is a lot harder when your hair is tangled. And don't get your hair in your eye. It doesn't feel good at all. Okay, so now we are ready for the French braid. I'm going to be sectioning all of my hair into 3 sections like I would to make a normal braid, and this, in my opinion, just makes French braiding a little bit easier, because instead of dealing with all of your hair at once, you are dealing with pieces from 3 sections. Now, I know this isn't a very good angle to learn French braiding, so I will post a link to a better tutorial on how to French braid in the description, and I will also add an annotation. But what you are basically doing is taking out sections from each of the 3 sections and bringing them backwards and making a normal braid, and then the fun starts. You start adding sections to the sides of your hair and continuing the French braid. Now this is a pretty low French braid, so it is going to start around where your ear is. Any higher and it's not truly what Elsa's hair would look like. It's also quite easier to start a little bit lower, and I wanted to make this tutorial very beginner friendly. So you just keep adding sections from each side and French braiding on down. Here I am checking to make sure that it feels correct, and now I am splitting what is left of my hair into 3 sections to braid normally. We are ending the part that is the French braid. And now I am basically going to do a normal 3-strand braid until I can pull my hair over my shoulder. Now is an important step. You're going to want to rough up your ends. I know this seems horrible and damaging, and it's not really that damaging, and it's not really that bad. You just need to be patient with it, and I definitely wouldn't try to comb this out while your hair is dry. I would do it in the shower when you have conditioner in. But without this step, you really won't have a truly big volumized braid. It really does help. You want to tie it up with some ends left, and you want to leave a couple inches out, and then you want to brush them out because, well, messy ends just aren't pretty. As you can see, we're looking like Elsa already. Now we're going to loosen up the French braid by pulling on the sides of it, and we are going to loosen up the regular 3-strand braid by pulling on the sides of it as well. And what this does, it just adds volume and texture to the whole hairstyle. And this is why we needed all those extra ends, because as you pull up, the ends get shorter. Now we are finally going to work on the fringe section. Oh my god, it's too long. So my curling iron is ready, and it is on, and it is hot. And so you can kind of assume what we're going to do. We are basically going to curl our bangs. I am splitting mine into two parts because that is a little easier for me to do. And I'm going to be curling around 1-inch sections of my hair using this curling wand. Basically just wrapping it around the barrel. There's no clip. No clip is necessary. Use any curling iron or wand you want. This is just to add a little bit of texture to the hair that we are going to be throwing over our head. You don't really need to curl all of your hair. My hair does have natural texture, but texture isn't really necessary for this style so long as you can get your hair to make a voluminous braid. Now, if you have really thin hair or you have trouble with texture, you may want to go ahead and curl your whole head, but you really don't have to. And if your hair is naturally thick, then, well, lucky you. And the last strand will be curled. I'm curling in opposite directions and the curls are going away from my face. As you can see, I kind of switched hands with my iron. Now we are going to apply a root boost powder, or basically any kind of root boost, anything you have, but I'm using a powder since something wet like a spray would probably mess up my curls. And I combed it into the roots and I'm hairspraying the curls, and as you can see, that added a considerable amount of volume by itself, but that's not enough. We need to tease. If you would prefer not to do this step, you can try to see what you can achieve with a powder or with a root boost spray, but to get quite a bit more volume, you do need to tease your hair. And flipping it all back, you can see that my hair is not going to stay that way, so I have to bobby pin it, because my bangs are just too long. With more layered fringe, it would work much better. Adjust it as you like, pull out some strands, make it a little more messy, and then hairspray the whole thing to hold everything in place. And now you're done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching.